The Dead Sea Scrolls. The Damascus Document CD. Chapter 1. Listen now, all you who know righteousness, and consider the works of Yahuwah. For he has a dispute with all flesh, and will condemn all those who despise him. For when they were unfaithful and forsook him, he hid his face from Yashar'al and his sanctuary and delivered them up to the sword. But remembering the covenant of the forefathers, he left a remnant to Yashar'al and did not deliver it up to be destroyed. And in the age of wrath, 390 years after he had given them into the hand of King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon, he visited them, and he caused a plant root to spring from Yashar'al and Aaron to inherit his land, and to prosper on the good things of his earth. And they perceived their iniquity, and recognized that they were guilty men. Yet for 20 years they were like blind men groping for the way. And Yahuwah observed their deeds, that they sought him with a whole heart. And he raised for them a teacher of righteousness to guide them in the way of his heart. And he made known to the latter generations that which Elohim had done to the latter generation, the congregation of traitors, to those who departed from the way. This was the time of which it is written, like a stubborn heifer thus was Yashar'al stubborn. When the scoffer arose who shed over Yashar'al the waters of lies, he caused them to wander in a pathless wilderness, laying low the everlasting heights, abolishing the ways of righteousness and removing the boundary with which the forefathers had marked out their inheritance, that he might call down on them the curses of his covenant, and deliver them up to the avenging sword of the covenant. For they sought easy interpretations, preferred illusions, and they watched for loopholes, and chose the fair neck. And they justified the wicked, and condemned the righteous. And they transgressed the covenant, and violated the precept. They banded together against the life of the righteous, and loathed all who walked in perfection. They pursued them with the sword, and exulted in the strife of the people. And the anger of Yahuwah was kindled against their congregation, so that he ravaged all their multitude. And their deeds were defilement before him. Chapter 2. Hear now, all you who enter the covenant, and I will unstop your ears concerning the ways of the wicked. Yahuwah loves knowledge. Wisdom and understanding he has set before him, and prudence and knowledge serve him. Patience and much forgiveness are with him towards those who turn from transgression. But power, might, and great flaming wrath by the hand of all the Malachim, angels of destruction towards those who depart from the way, and abhor the precept. They shall have no remnant or survivor. For from the beginning Yahuwah chose them not. He knew their deeds before ever they were created, and he hated their generations. And he hid his face from the land until they were consumed. For he knew the years of their coming, and the length and exact duration of their times for all ages to come and throughout eternity. He knew the happenings of their times throughout all the everlasting years. And in all of them he raised up men of renown for himself, that a remnant might be left to the land, and that the face of the earth might be filled with their seed. And he made known his set-apart spirit to them by the hand of his anointed ones, and he proclaimed the truth to them. But those whom he hated he led astray. Hear now, my sons, and I will uncover your eyes that you may see, and understand the works of Yahuwah, that you may choose that which pleases him and reject that which he hates, that you may walk perfectly in all his ways and not follow after thoughts of the guilty inclination and after eyes of lust. For through them, great men have gone astray, and mighty heroes have stumbled from former times till now. Because they walked in the stubbornness of their heart, the heavenly watchers fell. They were caught, because they did not guard the commandments of Yahuwah. And their sons also fell, who were tall as cedar trees, and whose bodies were like mountains. All flesh on dry land perished. They were as though they had never been, because they did their own will, and did not guard the commandment of their Maker, so that his wrath was kindled against them. Chapter 3. Through it, the children of Noah went astray together with their kin, and were cut off. Abraham did not walk in it, and he was accounted a friend of Yahuwah, because he guarded the commandments of Yahuwah and did not choose his own will. And he handed them down to Isaac and Jacob, who guarded them. and were recorded as friends of Elohim and as members of the covenant forever. The children of Jacob strayed through them and were punished in accordance with their error. And their sons in Egypt walked in the stubbornness of their hearts, conspiring against the commandments of Elohim, and each of them doing that which seemed right in his own eyes. They ate blood, and he cut off their males in the wilderness. And at Kadesh he said to them, "Go up and possess the land." But they chose their own will and did not heed the voice of their Maker, the commands of their teacher, but murmured in their tents. And the anger of Yahuwah was kindled against their congregation. Through it their sons perished, and through it their kings were cut off. Through it their mighty heroes perished, and through it their land was ravaged. Through it the first members of the covenant sinned and were delivered up to the sword, because they forsook the covenant of Elohim and chose their own will, and walked in the stubbornness of their hearts, each of them doing his own will. But with the remnant which held fast to the commandments of Yahuwah he made his covenant with Yashar'al forever, revealing to them the hidden things in which all Yashar'al had gone astray. He unfolded before them his set-apart Shabbats and his esteemed feasts, the testimonies of his righteousness, and the ways of his truth, and the desires of his will which a man must do in order to live. And they dug a well rich in water, and he who despises it shall not live. Yet they wallowed in the sin of man, and in ways of uncleanness, and they said, "This is our way." But Elohim in his wonderful mysteries forgave them their sin and pardoned their wickedness. And he built them a sure house in Yashar'al whose like has never existed from former times till now. Those who hold fast to it are destined to live forever, and all the esteem of Adam shall be theirs. Chapter 4. As Yahuwah ordained for them by the hand of the prophet Ezekiel, saying, the priests, the Levites, and the sons of Zadok who guard the charge of my sanctuary when the children of Yashar'al strayed from me, they shall offer me fat and blood. The priests are the converts of Yashar'al who departed from the land of Judah, and the Levites are those who joined them. The sons of Zadok are the elect of Yashar'al, the men called by name who shall stand at the end of days. Behold the exact list of their names according to their generations, and the time when they lived, and the number of their trials, and the years of their sojourn, and the exact list of their deeds. They were the first men of set-apartness whom Elohim forgave, and who justified the righteous and condemned the wicked. And until the age is completed, according to the number of those years, all who enter after them shall do according to that interpretation of the law in which the first men were instructed, according to the covenant which Yahuwah made with the forefathers, forgiving their sins, so shall he forgive their sins also. But when the age is completed, according to the number of those years, there shall be no more joining the house of Judah, but rather each man shall stand on his watchtower. The wall is built, the boundary far removed. During all those years Belial shall be unleashed against Yashar'al as he spoke by the hand of Isaiah, son of Amos, saying, Terror and the pit, and the snare are upon you, O inhabitant of the land. Interpreted, these are the 3 nets of Belial with which Levi son of Jacob said that he catches Yashar'al by setting them up as 3 kinds of righteousness. The first is fornication. The second is riches, and the third is profanation of the temple. Whoever escapes the first is caught in the second, and whoever saves himself from the second is caught in the third. The builders of the wall who have followed after precept was a spouter of whom it is written, they shall surely preach, shall be caught in fornication twice by taking a second wife while the first is alive. Whereas the principle of creation is male and female created he them. Chapter 5. Also, those who entered the ark went in 2 by 2. And concerning the prince it is written, he shall not multiply wives to himself. But David had not read the sealed book of the law which was in the ark of the covenant. For it was not opened in Yashar'al from the death of Eleazar and Joshua, and the elders who worshipped Ashtoreth. It was hidden, and was not revealed until the coming of Zadok. And the deeds of David rose up, except for the murder of Uriah, and Elohim left them to him. Moreover, they profane the temple because they do not observe the distinction between clean and unclean in accordance with the law. but lie with a woman who sees her bloody discharge. And each man marries the daughter of his brother or sister. Whereas Moses said, "You shall not approach your mother's sister, she is your mother's near kin." But although the laws against incest are written for men, they also apply to women. When therefore a brother's daughter uncovers the nakedness of her father's brother, she is also his near kin. Furthermore, they defile their set-apart spirit and open their mouth with a blaspheming tongue against the laws of the covenant of Elohim, saying, "They are not sure." They speak abominations concerning them. They are all kindlers of fire and lighters of brands. Their webs are spiders' webs, and their eggs are vipers' eggs. No man that approaches them shall be free from guilt. The more he does so, the guiltier shall he be unless he is compelled. For already in ancient times Elohim visited their deeds, and his anger was kindled against their works. For it is a people of no discernment. It is a nation void of counsel, inasmuch as there is no discernment in them. For in ancient times, Moses and Aaron arose by the hand of the Prince of Lights. And Belial in his cunning raised up Jans and his brother when Yashar'al was first delivered. And at the time of the desolation of the land there arose those who shifted the boundary, who led Yashar'al astray. And the land was ravaged because they preached rebellion against the commandments of Yahuwah given by the hand of Moses, and of his set-apart anointed ones. And because they prophesied lies to turn Yashar'al away from following Elohim.